Most investors in Dubai make one critical mistake. They only look at what is in demand today, not at what is coming next. And this is exactly where the new Metro Gold Line plays a huge role, because new metro lines in Dubai massively change where people want to live and where prices rise. Suddenly, areas that are underestimated today become interesting, and that is often where the best deals are created. I will show you which areas could benefit from the Gold Line and how you can use infrastructure projects like this in your investment strategy before the market has fully priced it in. Welcome. My name is Eugen Zimbelmann from Dubai Finance. I help investors successfully invest in real estate in Dubai by finding the right property as an investor, Dubai Land Department certified property valuer, and mortgage specialist. So did you know that Dubai has just launched the biggest transport infrastructure project in its history? And I'm not talking about a fancy marketing term. I'm talking about 34 billion dirhams. That is roughly 9.25 billion US dollars. A single metro line in a single city. To give you a sense of scale, the Blue Line, which is already under construction in Dubai and opens in 2029, has an investment volume of 18 billion dirhams. The new Gold Line costs almost double that. And according to official statements, it will be completed 30% faster than the Blue Line. Something many people ask me is, Eugene, why does Dubai keep expanding when the city already works so well? And my answer is always the same. Because the people in charge of Dubai are not planning for today. They are planning for 2032, for 2040 and beyond. That is exactly the point that most international investors completely overlook. So let's look at the hard numbers. The Gold Line will be 42 kilometers long, fully underground. It will have 18 stations, connect 15 key areas, run 40 meters below ground, serve 1.5 million residents, transport 465,000 passengers daily after 2040. It is the first fully underground metro line in Dubai. The tunnels will together be twice as long as the entire existing tunnel network of the Dubai Metro. Twice as long in a single new line. Many people don't know that the announcement of this line was only made on April 22nd, 2026, just a few days ago. That means the market is only just beginning to process this information. And the timeline is clearly defined. 2026, international tender. 2027, award of construction contract. From 2027, construction begin using the most advanced tunnel boring machines. September 9th, 2032. Opening deliberately chosen to fall exactly 23 years after the very first opening of the Dubai Metro in 2009. This is not a someday project. This is a carefully timed plan with a fixed opening date 6 years in the future. And that is exactly what makes it so important for you as an investor. Because the period between announcement and opening is always the window in which the most exciting market movements happen. So let's look at the route, because this is where it gets really interesting. The Gold Line starts at Al Ghubaiba, right in the historic center of Dubai, at the Dubai Creek, and it ends at Jumeirah Golf Estates, one of the greenest villa communities in the city, very popular with residents from the United Kingdom. What happens in between? It draws a line straight across Dubai. Let me walk through this, because every single station has its own story. The first station along the route, Al Mina Street, with connections to Mina Rashid and Etihad Museum. Then Satwa, and this is a small sensation. Satwa is getting a metro connection for the very first time. Not just one, 2 stations right in the neighborhood. Until now, residents had to walk around 20 minutes to reach the nearest metro. Next comes City Walk, one of Dubai's most popular lifestyle districts. Then Business Bay, where you can transfer to the Red Line, a direct connection to the financial center. And now comes the section I find particularly exciting. Burj Khalifa Road, District 1 with 2 stations, Nat Al Shiba, Dubai Hills, Global Village, Meydan, Hadik Mohammed bin Rashid, Dubai Miracle Garden, Jumeirah Village Circle, and finally Jumeirah Golf Estates. One thing that immediately stood out to me when I first studied the route map, this line does not simply connect the historic old city of Dubai with the south, it connects it with the major growth routes of the next 10 years. Mohammed bin Rashid City, Meydan, Dubai Hills. Also, the first direct connection to Global Village with its over 10 million visitors every year. And the final stop at Jumeirah Golf Estates. This is the point you need to take in as an investor. The Gold Line is not just an independent line. It is the backbone of Dubai's urban development for the next 15 years. And it will connect directly with the existing network at multiple points. Al Ghubaiba, transfer to the Green Line. Burj Oman, connection to the Red and the Green Line. Business Bay, transfer to the Red Line. Meydan, future Etihad Rail Passenger Station. Jumeirah Golf Estates, transfer to the Red Line plus Etihad Rail. This means anyone who lives or invests along the Gold Line will be just one transfer away from almost anywhere in Dubai. And in the future, from the entire nationwide rail network. Because Etihad Rail is another mega project, not driven by Dubai alone, but one that will connect all the United Emirates through a modern long-distance rail system. And if you would also like me to make a separate episode on that infrastructure project, just leave a comment below this video. So let's quickly look at the bigger picture. Did you know that the current Dubai metro network today consists of 120 kilometers and 67 stations, spread across the Red Line, Green Line and Route 2020. With the Blue Line opening in 2029, another 30 kilometers and 14 stations will be added. And with the Gold Line, another 42 kilometers and 18 stations on top of that. That adds up to 162 kilometers and 85 stations by 2032. That is the network growth of 35% from the Gold Line alone. In other words, Dubai is expanding its rail network by more than a third within just 6 years. And while other cities spend decades discussing projects like this, here contracts are tendered, awarded and delivered within just a few years. It is exactly this pace that makes Dubai such a key investment location for me. And in the second part, I will now show you what this infrastructure means specially for your investment strategy, why 55 major projects are directly linked to this line, and what to look for if you want to invest smarter than 95% of the market. And one number in the official announcement by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid immediately caught my attention. The Gold Line will be connected to 55 major development projects currently under construction. 55, not planned, under construction. Let that sink in for a moment. A single new metro line running through 15 strategic areas, creating 18 new stations, and at the same time directly connecting 55 mega projects. This is no longer a transport line in the traditional sense. This is the infrastructure wiring of the new Dubai. And this is exactly where this gets interesting for you as an investor. Because these 55 projects will be completed in parallel with the Gold Line over the coming years. That means, at the moment the Gold Line opens in 2032, it will not be metro running through half-finished desert. It will be a metro running through completed, inhabited, lively neighborhoods. That is a massive difference compared to infrastructure projects in many other parts of the world. And did you also know that the Dubai Metro has already carried more than 2.8 billion passengers since it opened in 2009? In 2025 alone, it was 295 million passengers, an increase of 7% compared to the previous year. On average, around 1 million people use the metro every single day. It already makes up 40% of all public transport in Dubai. And the numbers keep rising every year. This is not a theoretical concept. This is the reality of a city that grows by over 100,000 people every year. Something many people ask me is, Eugen, how noticeable is the metro line actually in the daily life of residents? And my answer is always more noticeable than you think. The official figures for the Gold Line shows this quite clearly. The line will carry up to 465,000 passengers per day, replace over 40 million car trips in Dubai every year, relieve the existing red line between Burj Oman and On Passive by 23%. That last point is especially important to understand, because the red line is already the backbone of Dubai today. When that line is relieved by almost a quarter at a key section, the entire network benefits. And with it, all the areas that are already on the red line today. Especially at peak times, the current metro trains are packed to capacity. Just 2 weeks ago, I was on the metro with my 2 children. They absolutely wanted to experience for themselves what it's like to ride a driveless train. Because the metro in Dubai already runs completely autonomously today. No driver at the front, no one in the cab. We went on a Sunday morning, and even then you could see how full the metro was, even through trains run just a few minutes apart. The red line at Business Bay is often already at full capacity, so relief there is urgently needed. But road traffic is also heavily strained by the sheer numbers of people. Traffic jams are back in Dubai as much as the hot summer temperatures. That is exactly why the reduction of 40 million car trips through the Gold Line matters so much. But what does that actually mean in practice? Less congestion, shorter commute times, cleaner air, a city where the car is no longer the only option. That is exactly what separates a modern metropolis from a city that stopped developing decades ago. And this is worth mentioning. Those in charge are deliberately choosing the most advanced tunnel boring machines for the construction. The reason the construction work is not supposed to disrupt daily traffic, city life, or any other ongoing projects. That too is a typical Dubai detail. It is not just built, it is built smartly. And now comes the point that as an investor and as a Dubai Land Department certified property valuer, I consider the truly decisive one. The Gold Line is not the only infrastructure project in Dubai. It is just the biggest right now. So did you know, for example, that the Blue Line is being built at the same time with 14 stations and 30 kilometers of track, including the world's highest metro station, the Emaar Property Station, at 74 meters above ground, including the first metro bridge over the Dubai Creek with a span of 1.3 kilometers. At the same time, road infrastructure is being continuously expanded for cars, for cyclists, and for pedestrians. New highways, new bridges, new cycling paths, new waterfront walkways are all being built. There's the Dubai Loop by Elon Musk as an experimental approach to rethinking mobility. And above of all this sits Etihad Rail, which will connect Dubai with the other Emirates and eventually with Saudi Arabia and Oman. And that is exactly the picture you need to hold in your mind. The Gold Line is one piece of a puzzle, a huge one, an important one, but still just one piece in a much larger overall plan. Dubai does not invest in individual projects. Dubai invests in the system of the city. And if you enjoy this kind of analysis and want to understand how Dubai is truly developing, not through a marketing lens, but through the eyes of an investor who has known this city from inside for years, then subscribe to my YouTube channel Dubai Finance now and turn on the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my episodes where I show you what is truly moving the market here. So what you need to understand is this: Dubai keeps growing, and not by accident, but systematically. The city grows in population, in economic strength, in tourism, in international appeal. And it grows in the infrastructure that carries exactly that growth. Anyone who has understood this logic sees Dubai differently. You're no longer just seeing individual towers, individual buildings, or individual beaches. You see an integrated system of living, working, mobility, education, health, and lifestyle, composed step by step with the political leadership. And within this system, there are locations that will benefit above average in the coming years. Locations that are still underestimated today. And locations where the right property can be bought at the right time. Working out exactly these combinations. That is my work every single day. And this is exactly where I come in. Because analyses like today's are not an end in themselves. They are the foundation for making sure that when you invest in Dubai, you don't just buy a property. You buy the right property for your personal situation. So if you want to invest in Dubai, book your free first consultation now at www.dubai-finance.com. In that conversation, we will analyze your starting position together, your capital, your goals, and find out whether and how an investment in Dubai makes sense for you. I'm not just an advisor. I'm an investor myself. I am an official certified property valuer in Dubai, and I have been a mortgage specialist focused on Dubai for years. So that means when you speak with me, you speak with someone who evaluates markets, assesses build quality, structures mortgage, and reviews contracts. Everything from one place and everything in Dubai. The gold line is a huge opportunity, but only for investors who analyze now rather than react in 2031. Go now to www.dubai-finance.com now and book your first free consultation. And let's find out together how you can use the growth of this city to your advantage. See you in the conversation.